I just feel like Derrick Henry, when you put it all together, size, speed, he's agile, he's strong. I think he's just the most gifted back we've ever seen. The stats don't lie. Derrick Henry, 6 games with 200 plus yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Nobody has more than 3. And then he has 6 games of 200 plus rushing yards. Adrian Peterson has 6. O.J. Simpson has 6. Tiki Barber has 5. LT has 4. Barry has 4. Campbell has 4. Oh yeah, and Derrick Henry's still playing. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Titan Anderson Sports. You cannot spell Titans without putting that T-A in it. You guys got a special one for you guys today. Derrick Henry's on the cusp, on the brink of breaking more records. Arguably the greatest running back record of all time. I mean, he already has pretty much all of them, and we'll get into most of them, or some of them. But one thing's for sure, he's coming up on something quick, and we'll bring it up right now. Let's talk about it. Derrick Henry, Adrian Peterson, and O.J. Simpson are tied for the most games with 200 plus rushing yards, and that's 6 games. Tiki Barber's at 5, LT 4, Sanders 4, Earl Campbell the Great 4. There's other guys on the list, but they only have 3 or less. This is your tops. And we brought video proof for all of the games Derrick Henry did it. Let's go over them real quick. Every game for the King. Number 1, 2018, 99-yard run. Remember that? Week 14 versus the Jags, 238 yards. 2019, Week 17 versus the Texans, 211 yards. 2020, Week 6 versus the Texans, 264 yards. 2020, Week 14 versus the Jags, 222. 2020, Week 17 versus the Texans, 250. That game clincher right there at the end. And here it is right there. 2021, Week 2 versus the Seahawks, 237. Basketball dribbled that bitch's fucking head off the floor. I love it. 2022, Week 8 versus the Texans, 228. Stiff arm following his blocking. Unbelievable. And yes, he is the king of the AFC South. As you guys can see, these are some of the reasons why I think he's the greatest running back ever. I mean, again, longevity is one thing because like Emmitt Smith owns that or whatever. He played forever, and you know, good for him or whatever. But he had Larry Allen. He had arguably the best blockers of all time. Derrick Henry didn't have that. When he ran for his 2,000-yard season, none of the blockers made the Pro Bowl. Last year we had the blockers we had were pathetic. They were terrible. They couldn't stay healthy. When they were healthy, they were getting destroyed, and he still ran for 1,500 yards. Derrick Henry's one of one, and this statistic thing down here where it says he has 200 rushing yards for 6 games, plus 200 plus rushing yards in 6 games. He actually has something better than that, and I wanted to show you guys. Right here, as you guys can see, and we're going to cover me up for a second. Derrick Henry actually has the most 200 plus rushing yards with 200 or with 2 plus rushing touchdowns with 6 games. Nobody's done that. Derrick Henry has the most games with 200 plus rushing yards and 2 plus rushing touchdowns with 6 games. Nobody can touch that. Second most is LT with 3 and Barry with 3. Then you got a bunch of 2s. Dalvin Cook, Adrian Peterson, Tiki Barber, Larry Johnson, Jamal Lewis, Clinton Portis, Ricky Williams, Marshall Faulk, Corey Dillon, Eric Dickerson, O.J. Simpson, and I think it says Jim Brown. You guys, like, let that sink in, bro. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Derrick Henry, you guys. Derrick Henry, literally, this to me shows everything that, what other debate is there? Everyone wants to bring up the Emmitt Smith thing. You have to have 150,000 rushing yards, right? Like, come on. Like, that's good. You stayed healthy. That's your superpower. Congratulations. I mean, he had great balance. He was a good running back. But I just can't put him ahead of guys like Barry. Barry didn't even have an offensive line. Barry Sanders has the most negative rushing yards in the history of football. Like, let that sink in. I just feel like Derrick Henry, when you put it all together, size, speed, he's agile, he's strong. I think he's just the most gifted back we've ever seen. The stats don't lie. Derrick Henry, 6 games with 200 plus yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Nobody has more than 3. And then he has 6 games of 200 plus rushing yards. Adrian Peterson has 6. O.J. Simpson has 6. Tiki Barber has 5. LT has 4. Barry has 4. Campbell has 4. Oh yeah, and Derrick Henry's still playing. We're looking at one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Will he finish with as many yards as Emmitt Smith? No, because he didn't play as long. He's not going to play as long probably, and he didn't come in to start right away. DeMarco Murray was starting the first 2 seasons, and then they brought in Dion Lewis. That 3rd season, he took a lot of snaps from Dion Lewis took a lot of snaps from King Henry. But at the end of the day, it might have kept him a little fresh, or fresher longer. It might have kept him in his prime a little longer. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Make sure you guys hit that like and do all that fun stuff. Do you guys think Derrick Henry is the greatest running back of all time? If not, do you think he's one of the greatest of all time? Mount Rushmore? If you don't even think that, where do you think he stacks up? Do you think these stats mean nothing? There's a reason he's on the top of both lists. There's a reason why he's probably going to add to it and break both of them. Derrick Henry is one of one. Derrick Henry is the king. Derrick Henry is the best running back of all time. He's 1 away from his 7th 200-yard game, putting him in his own category. He's already in his own category when it comes to 200-yard rush games, with the 2 rushing touchdowns included. He has 6. Nobody has more than 3. He has 90-plus yard touchdowns. He has a 99-yard touchdown. He throws the ball. Like, what more do you want him to prove his dominance? Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the greatest football player of all time. The greatest running back of all time. Football player, you got to give it to Tom Brady, sorry ass, because he freaking won. He won so many times. You got to respect winning. You got to. But when you're a running back, and nobody can sit there and say Derrick Henry didn't put them in opportunities, put them in great spots to win Super Bowls. He did. We were in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. We were up 10 points 2 different times, and our quarterback and injuries piled on, and play calling, and we didn't pull through. Only one team's allowed to win. We didn't win. I still feel like Derrick Henry's got a lot left, fellas. This year's going to prove a lot. Is Derrick Henry still the best in football still right now? I say yes. 2023 season starts pretty soon. Let me know what you guys think in that comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button. Tighten up Code Blue Cyclops swag. You cannot spell Titans without putting that T-A in it.